the last one, so we'll deal with it, so
Yeah.
you're not gonna be here, we'll go home.
I think I misplaced it.
Good evening. This is the December 9th meeting of the Union County Board of Adjustment. My name is Darren Green. I'm the board chairman. To my left is Vice Chairman Mark Tilley. We also have to my left board attorneys Bill Sturgis and Derek Thurman. To my right, board members Rick Davis and Jennifer Stewart. We also have in attendance tonight staff members Jim King, Lee Jensen, as well as our clerk, Ms. Pam Rivers. I will go over quickly a little bit about what we do and who we are. The Board of Adjustment hears three different types of issues, and tonight 3 different types of issues are on our agenda. We hear applications for variances from the regulations of the county zoning ordinance. We also hear appeals of decisions of the county staff, and we hear applications for special use permits. The order in each case will follow will be all parties who plan to give testimony, pro or con, will be asked to fill out a sheet of paper that's up there with your name and information so we know who you are, and you will also be asked to be sworn in. The zoning staff member will explain why a permit was denied or why a variance is requested or the nature of the special use permit application. The board may then ask questions of the zoning staff member. We will at that time take evidence from those in favor as well as those in opposition to any of the cases that we hear. After hearing a case, the board will review the case and render a decision. This is usually done while we're here tonight. I don't think I've ever been here when it wasn't done while we're here. However, we do have the right to take up to 30 days to render a decision. You may remain while we deliberate, or you may leave. If you just choose to leave, you can contact staff tomorrow and find out the decision of the board. All exhibits that are presented must remain with us, with our staff, for 30 days, unless your case is appealed to Superior Court, at which time they will remain with us. If you feel there's a conflict of interest with any member of our board, please let us know before your case comes before us. We are a quasi-judicial board and can accept only sworn testimony. No hearsay evidence is admissible. Appeals from our decision must be to the Union County Superior Court, and you have 30 days from the date of our decision in which to appeal to the court, which is part of North Carolina General Statute. I do ask that everyone please turn off your cell phones so that we don't get interrupted during our meeting by something going tweet, tweet. Thank you. That's my speech required by my attorney. All right.
You presented so well.
I do try, sir. I do try. At this time, I will confirm that we do have a quorum. 4 members are here. We are a board of 5 members, and 4 of 5 are here. First item on the agenda is to approve the minutes from the August 12th and September 9th meeting. Board, you received those in your packet. We will take them one at a time. The August 12th meeting, do I have a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Davis. Is there a second?
I second.
Second by Ms. Stewart. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? We have the minutes from the September 9th meeting. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Tilley. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Davis. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. The next item on the agenda is, we need to clean this little item up, guys. This is the, and lady, the 2018 appeal of the Raymond Burroughs situation. If you remember, I think we heard some, we never really got this. It kind of came to us, but didn't really come to us. And what happened was there was a request, an appeal of the zoning administrator's decision regarding a violation. That situation has been rectified through a rezoning. So the county took care of that so that we don't have to deal with it. but we still need to clean it up, and we need a formal motion to withdraw the appeal. So if I could get a motion to withdraw the appeal.
Why don't you first check some ladies here that want
Oh,
to speak on this?
okay, is there anyone here who would like to speak on this case? Not expecting there is, because I know they really took care of this with the two other meetings, but, okay, not seeing any, is there a motion to formally withdraw this appeal?
Let me ask you about that.
Okay, sir.
The
We
board
pay
can't
him.
withdraw the appeal because we didn't make it. But the board can deem it moot and remove it from its,
Well, in this case, the attorney representing the client, or the property owner, had said that, now that they got the rezoning, they wanted to go ahead and withdraw the appeal.
so we're just approving the withdrawal. We aren't
Yes.
withdrawing it.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay.
You know, it's how you say it that matters. We're doing the same thing, but we are approving the withdrawal. So I need a motion to approve the withdrawal of the, phew, good gracious, how much we get paid to do this? I need a motion to approve the withdrawal of the appeal.
Make a motion to approve.
The withdrawal of the appeal. Okay, Rick. Is there a second?
I'll take your word for it.
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Stewart. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? At this time, I'm not sure where we stand with this next issue, so I'm
Well,
going to,
apparently, yeah, why don't you move to the special use permit, because they hadn't gotten back with me.
hang out with you, so we're gonna go move ahead, so everybody else can do so. All right. All right, you say so. Item number 6, special use permit, 2019 SUP 05 Bonnie Griffin Pet Cemetery. This is a special use permit to request a pet cemetery located the applicant is requesting a special use permit to construct and operate a pet cemetery on the property located at 4601 Griffith Road. Union County Development Ordinance requires the issue of a special use permit for cemeteries located in the RA 40 zoning districts. The ordinance under Article 30 Supplemental Regulations, Section 30-040, cemeteries require burial plots to be set back a minimum of 40 feet from all property lines. And so I will at this time call Mr. King to come be sworn in. You swear the evidence you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Thank you, sir. Is the petition complete?
Yes, it is.
Thank you, sir. This time, is there a conflict? Any board member have a conflict with this special use permit request? Any board member? Hearing none, I would ask for a motion to hear the petition.
Make a motion to hear the petition.
Motion by Mr. Davis. Is there a second?
I second.
Second by Ms. Stewart. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? At this time, due to our board operating rules, there's only 4 of us here tonight. We have 5 board members. Unfortunately, one of our board members has resigned, and we have 2 alternates, and one of those alternates can't be here, and the other one has resigned. So there's 4 of us, and tonight, in order to win approval or disapproval, 3 of 4 of us have to vote. So if anybody here, either for or against this, would like to have this continued, you have an opportunity now to come and request that. You're going to have 3 votes either way, but you have to have 3 of 4 tonight. Potentially, you might have to have 3 of 5. However, I will tell you that there's no guarantee, because we don't know if the commissioners are going to appoint another board member between now and the next meeting, so you might show up next month and the same 4 of us be here. But I have to give you that that opportunity. So if you're here tonight in favor or opposition of this special use petition, and you would like to request a continuance, you can come forward now and do so. Yes, sir.
What does that mean,
Continuance mean we would not hear it tonight. We could discuss it among us, and we could determine to decide to continue it to our next meeting, which will be in January.
Well, what's the procedure? No, I'm not for it, and I'm not against it, but I'd like to get some information about it.
It has nothing to do with getting information about it. This has to be, the board tonight, where there's only 4 of us.
Yes, I understand that.
And so 3 of 4 is gonna have to vote for or against. And so the issue at this point is, are you comfortable with that, or would you rather have 5 of us up here voting for or against? That's the only thing I'm asking
Oh,
now.
the voting, okay, I'm sorry.
That's all I'm asking now.
It's clear as mud now. I got you.
So, anyone else? All right, hearing none. Mr. King, you may present your staff analysis.
All right, and I'll be brief on this. As you stated, the location is 4601 Griffith Road. The owner of the property is Bonnie Griffin, and she's also the applicant. The property, is what you're seeing here on this conceptual site plan, is the area up towards the top that is highlighted in there. It's trying to think of what the acreage was again. I've got it written down in the staff analysis. I want to say it's roughly about 4 or 5 acres. I'd have to look at, hey, Lee, would you take a look at that staff analysis? Tell me real quick.
2
But-
plus.
Oh, it says
2
2
plus.
plus or minus.
Okay, two plus or minus acres. The property here, if you look on the northern boundary of it, you'll see a blue line that represents a stream that runs through the property. There's also another stream running through the property, right where this is actually next, another lot right here. There's a stream that runs through right here. 2 things to point out right there. Those streams require buffers of 50 foot. One of the things also that is required by the ordinance is that any burial sites remain 40 foot off the property line. Ms. Griffiths has said that that would not be an issue. Property itself is zoned RA40, and as you can see here, everything in green's RA40, so it's totally surrounded by RA40. The comprehensive land use plan calls for this property out here to be single-family residential, as well as everything that surrounds it. As we talked earlier about the creek, there are, this creek and the one beside the other lot are the only 2 environmental sensitive situations on the property, and would require a 50-foot buffer off of the creek bank. The transportation plan is not calling for any type of transportation improvements out here. And as you can see, most of the property is either underdeveloped or undeveloped. And in fact, it's showing the property, the subject property here being underdeveloped. So staff recommendations are, as always, must comply with all local, state, and federal requirements, must fully comply with the Union County Development Ordinance, need to maintain a 40-foot setback off of all the property lines, and must maintain a 50-foot buffer along the 2 streams on the property. This time, staff is available for any questions the board may have. Do believe that the applicant is here tonight to speak as well. So,
Mr. King,
yes, sir.
did they give, the applicant give you any indication as to how many burial plots will be available here?
She, in our talking, she feels that it's going to be somewhere around 40.
Or did she also give a size of the burial plot?
And that's something that I had asked, and I don't know that she has come to that conclusion yet, because I asked her, said, what happens if somebody wants to bury their horse out there? And that's a fairly large site, or hole that you would have to dig. And, you know, she had at the time said that she had not really thought about it into that extent, that she was looking to open this up for family and friends. She stated that this is not going to be something that's open to the public. So if you have a pet that's buried out there, you can go visit your pet, but it's not open to the public just to come out there, have a picnic and stuff like that.
Well, if she's not sure what animals are gonna be buried as far as what size, how can she determine how many plots will be out there? That's what I'll ask her a little bit.
Yeah, that would be a question more for the applicant right there. Okay.
Any other questions for Mr. King?
Jim, what's the access to this, would be a separate parcel, I guess, at this point?
No, coming off Griffith Road, there's a driveway that comes right up here beside that residence, and that's how they would access the properties, by that driveway.
So it's the driveway for the house is going to be the access to the pet burial location?
Well, they would have to extend that driveway, but that would be the main way to do it.
there's so little road frontage up there that there's no way the NCDOT would grant a separate driveway permit. The only other way that they could access the property would be off of Plowell Road. She does own the property that's adjacent to it, which is known as All Shucks, which is located right here. But I think her intent is to access it off of Griffith Road.
I guess there's no access requirement rule for a pet cemetery?
Nothing in our ordinance.
Anything else from Mr. King? All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
At this time, I would call those who would like to speak in favor of this petition to come forward and be sworn. Anyone who wants to speak in favor, that includes the applicant, anyone in favor? Come forward. You swear that, raise your right hand. There you go. You swear the evidence you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes.
Thank you. Please make sure you fill out he's going to show you what to do there, but make sure the clerk gets that before you leave.
Okay.
Please just come up, state your name and your address, please, so we know who you are and where you're from.
Okay. My name is Bonnie Griffin from Monroe. My address is 3718 Plyler Mill Road in Monroe.
Yes, ma'am.
I also own the property at 4601 Griffith Road. And I have a couple acres at the very back of the property that is not used for anything else because there are property lines, as you may have seen in the GPS. So there is no building possibilities or potential for that. We have a large number of animals personally, and we have given them names. We don't want to take them to the dump, and so we were interested in being able to bury some personal animals. And with the laws in Charlotte, Mecklenburg changing where you're no longer allowed to bury your pet in the backyard in Charlotte, Mecklenburg. And we have family and friends in Charlotte that have shown an interest to have a forever place for their pet. And honestly, it's pretty small. I'm only designating about an acre to an acre and a half for this. Rick, as you mentioned, probably about 40. We've already measured, and we are not burying large animals, no cows, no horses, et cetera. So this is for people's precious pets that they don't want to cremate. This is an alternative to cremation. The size would be about 3 feet by 3 feet for a small animal, cat or a small dog, and then a small, medium, and large, and we would prepare the custom pine boxes for those animals. Any questions?
So there will be custom pine boxes for each animal?
Yes.
And
Yes,
what's
we
the-
are making a pine box that will be sealed so that the family will be able to come out and have a moment before their pet is put in the ground. We have an excavator, and so we will handle all of that. And we are very aware of the depth as well as the distance off of the power line, the creeks, et cetera, in the area. But this is a very, very small thing that's happening. And to back up, if I may, I have 2 teenage boys, and they are set to inherit several hundred acres in Union County in the Wingate area. And they have shown an interest in, no interest at all in row cropping like their grandfather or poultry farming like their father. And so we're seeing this kind of break in generation, as you guys are very aware of. And I've tried to encourage them to figure out a way to keep a family farm in the family and be able to use it wisely. And so this past summer, I took these 2 boys to the National Farm Tour. We covered the state of Iowa and Minnesota, toured 13 farms, and it was actually my teenage son, who's 18, he's a freshman in college studying business, that came to me and said, I'd like to do consider a pet burial on the property that he inherits someday in the Wingate area. And I said, let me test the waters, let me do the marketing, let me create the website. If it works with 40, then I'm gonna pass it on to you, and then you'll have to come back to the Board of Adjustment and do your own fight in the future for that. So that's honestly where it started, is he is looking at ways of using land that he will have instead of selling it.
Okay.
Any questions?
What would be the depth of the graves?
Can you answer that? Okay,
It'll be 3 foot.
he's the
deep.
excavator.
So how much coverage?
Working line quotes 36 inches.
Yeah.
Depth,
You have, could you
This-
give us
Yeah.
a microphone, please?
this is
Sorry,
for
he's gonna
us.
have to be sworn if he's gonna give testimony.
I just want to say one thing, I still got to do it.
Yeah, he still has to be sworn, I'm sorry.
Okay.
You swear the evidence you're about to give us the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Please fill that form out. And, the question was the depth, I believe the original question.
Yes, we looked it up a long time ago before we come in front of y'all, and it's 36 inches to the top of the casket or grave or whatever, but it's 36 inches.
I'm sorry, your name?
My name's Butch Howell.
Okay, so how much coverage will be from the top of the casket?
Let's
before-
figuring a small casket of, 14 inches? That 14 inches top of the casket to the top of the ground has to be 3 foot.
Okay,
So you might be going probably 4 foot.
I see what you're saying.
You
So
have
there's
to
gotta be
realize-
3 foot of.
Well, they
coverage.
say 3 foot where nothing can get in there and dig it up, haul it
That's
out.
what my question is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So 3 foot to the top.
yes.
Gotcha.
Because it's an excavator too, we're not hand digging these with shovels.
No,
So
I-
an
okay.
excavator's automatically
Yeah.
gonna
Okay.
create it.
Any more?
I'll get it. That's all.
Okay, one, you say you won't be burying any larger animals, so the smaller 3x3 is basically what you're gonna be doing. Would you have
Yes.
any objections if this is approved, that one of the stipulations of this would be that all of the caskets be kept 3 foot by 3 foot, and nothing any larger in this area that we're talking about now?
I think a small cat or dog would be a 3 foot. I think if someone had a Labrador retriever, I think it would need to be possibly 3.5 to 4 feet. And Butch, James would be able to answer that, or Butch?
Okay, that's one thing that's.
Butch, can you answer the size of the medium?
I done built two
He's
different-
making
I done built
prototypes
two
for
different kind of boxes.
small, medium, large.
And, you don't realize it when you start building something 16, 18 inches wide, 16, 18, it's pretty big.
Right.
So I don't see how I'd have anything bigger than what you said.
But my question
That's not
being, would
wasting
you have
materials.
any objections for us putting that in a stipulation as if we approve this, that there would be a certain size of 4x4? So that, I really don't, I don't think it would be logical to go out and bury 15 horses.
Oh, no,
But,
no.
Okay, so if we put that in the, requirements or stipulations.
That's fine, yeah, that's,
Okay, you have an objection?
I don't have no problem with that, because 4x4 is real big. I don't wanna bury no horse, no
We're not burying
cow,
cows or horses.
nothing like that, no.
That was my question there,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of farmers that have nowhere sometimes to take their horses or cows or whatever, and they look for somewhere to take it. And I just wouldn't want a pet cemetery
No,
No.
to go into a cow. and
we
horse
would not want
cemetery.
that.
I'll give you my
We'd
word,
run
I
out of-
will not bury no
Yeah,
horse.
we would
no,
run out
no.
of room very quickly.
I mean, my biggest box I got now is like this big,
Okay,
it's about that big, and that'll hold a good sized dog,
that'd be great.
yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is this something that would be, like regulated or inspections? How, I mean, is that all something that you guys would be required to do so that was above board and?
We've already met with the department, that is the septic department. I think that would be the only one that would show some concerns. So environmental health has already come out and made sure that we are off the lines that are close to the creek and the, any septic lines and things like that.
Yeah,
She
we're
said
way
we-
off more than 50
She
foot
said we
on
were
that
very
creek.
far off, that we're good,
Right.
good to go.
And the one he quoted a while ago, he pointed out, the one that goes, it's the only time it's got water in it when it rains, and we're still 40, 50 foot off it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty small scale.
And there's no water standing in that one creek, only unless it rains, and we're still 50 foot off it, easy.
Mr. Sturdy, did you have?
Yeah, just a comment on Rick was saying, I understand his kind of land use concern about, there being cows or horses, and it's kind of a different creation. But also, the board doesn't run someone's business plan.
Okay.
And so it may be, maybe a better stipulation is that there would be no boxes bigger than 4 feet by 4,
Right.
something, so they still have a lot of business judgment, but it accomplished what they promised to do, and you're concerned about it becoming more of a commercial
That, yeah,
as opposed to a consumer, so.
right, okay.
So just using your business judgment, if you have a Great Dane, you know, what's the maximum you think you would?
Well, I took my tape and done a piece of plywood the other day, and I'm gonna tell you, it'd have to be a big dog to fill up a 4x4 box.
So would you be comfortable with a max of a burial box of 4x4 or 5x5 or?
I don't think we need nothing bigger than a 4x4.
Okay, so,
Yeah.
Okay.
and that gives you flexibility
Mhm.
underneath that for a
True,
variety
true.
of sizes.
Well, see, when I go that big, if I had to use something that big, then of course I gotta go deeper, and that's way too much. I think what we're trying to do is, you know, your little dogs, you know, and the kids don't wanna have it cremated, they want it buried on a farm, and then we're gonna take care of the property, you know, like we do take care of our property now, and that's our goal,
One other question.
Question?
right today.
The depth of the burial and the coverage of it, will someone inspect this before it's covered up, or is that just be on you guys' judgment?
It'd be on me, because there's nothing, there's nothing in the book says it,
Okay,
yeah,
okay, I understand.
yeah.
Right.
But I'm gonna tell you this, if the man brings his dog out here and it's gotta go 3 foot, it's going 3 foot,
I understand.
yeah.
Thank you for that honesty.
Mhm.
Any other questions? All right. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Is there anyone here else would like to speak in favor of this, in favor of? In favor of. If you're gonna speak in favor, I need you to be sworn in, so please come up. If everybody wants to speak in favor of it, come on up now. Let's get you sworn in together, and then we'll speed this process. Come on up. You can, we got room on that Bible for how many hands we can put on there. You swear the evidence you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Okay, please make sure you fill out the little form right there, both of you. But you don't have to do it now, but just make sure it's done and given to our clerk before you leave. Please state your name and address, sir.
My name is Eric Sliker. I live at 4613 Griffith Road, Monroe, North Carolina.
Yes, sir.
My property borders this proposed area for this pet cemetery. And in 2015, I had to do one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my life, and that was to put down my 5-year-old Cocker Spaniel because she had an incurable disease. The second hardest thing I ever do is have her cremated because I had lived in an apartment and had no place to bury her. I have a border collie now. My wife has a 14-year-old cat. I would very much appreciate not to have to go through that misery of having to cremate a beloved family member of the animal variety. So I fully support this proposal, and I have no qualms whatsoever that it'll be carried out in a dignified manner. That's all.
Any questions?
So your property adjoins their property?
Beg your pardon?
Your property does adjoin their property?
Yes, it does.
Okay, that's good.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Please state your name.
My name's Kara Bigham. I live at 2605 Henson Road in Monroe, and I'm for the pet cemetery. I'm a renter and have been for about 15 years now in Union County. I have 3 pets. I've had one of them since my kids, who are almost 17 now, since they were 2 years old, and it's about to pass away. And something like this would be great because I can't bury our dogs in our backyard. They're family members, but we don't own the property. So being able to go to somewhere like what she's offering would be great. And then I have 2 other pets that eventually will be their time as well. It would be great to be able to get 3 plots together and be able to have all of our family pets together.
All right, thank you. Any questions? All right. Anyone else in favor? It's your last chance if you're in. Okay, all right. Anyone at this time who is in opposition who would like to come forward, please come forward and be sworn. If you're in opposition and would like to give testimony, please come forward at this time. Any and everybody, please, if you would like to speak in opposition, now is your time. We'll get this done quick. Swearing in, we can swear in all you people. I'm easy with this. You swear the evidence you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Okay, please, again, fill out the little white sheet of paper and give it to the clerk before you leave. If you leave without giving it to the clerk, you will be shot. I'm just kidding. They used to do that back in the day.
You got a cemetery now.
Please state your name, address, sir.
My name is Tom Batar, and 4616 Griffith Road.
4616,
Right
are
across
you
the
a
street.
property, you adjoin?
And he owns 10 And I
Okay,
own
well, we'll talk to
14.
him in a minute, but you go ahead.
Well, I have 14 and 16.
Okay,
Yeah, I don't want to be, buy a pet cemetery.
Okay.
I don't want my property by this. I'm opposed to this because, later down the road, we're gonna have to sell our property and, I don't want to be, I'm not interested in having a pet cemetery by my property.
okay.
Can you point out exactly which one yours is?
The big gray one right across the street,
Across the street.
right here. This
Okay,
one.
okay, gotcha.
There's 3 pieces there. I own 2 of them.
Okay.
My father-in-law owns the other one.
All right, sir, any questions? I'm sorry, any questions? Before you step down, before you,
Well,
yep, go ahead. I know what you're going.
you've made a statement there, you didn't want that on your land.
Yeah,
Well, it's
I
not on your
understand that.
land, it's across the road.
I understand that. And then once we go to sell 3 pieces of property and they find out there's a pet cemetery around there, I mean, I can't see people being happy to buy that piece of property. And
Well,
like,
did
there's-
you have anybody do a land survey on that something like that would devalue your property?
No. But like, this is what I'm supposed to do, right? If I oppose something, correct?
Yes, sir.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, you have to bring,
Yeah, I tried to bring like 5 neighbors, but, you know, the gray ones all across the street. Not one of them, but everybody's too lazy to come here.
okay.
All right, sir.
I'm being honest with you,
Yeah, I get it.
you know.
Any other questions? Not right. Well, if you want to question him, you can. You can count.
I just want to make clear that it cannot be seen from Griffith Road. It will not be seen by anyone.
Okay,
It's about 12
All right.
acres to the back.
all right,
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Anybody that speaks needs to come up to the mic, so
I'm
it's part
sorry.
of the record.
yeah, okay, well, she's just, if you have a question for him, or you'd like to,
Just let her put that comment.
yeah, if you
I
want to
just
comment,
wanted
that's
to
fine.
comment that I didn't know if you guys realize that it's only an acre, but it's at it's 12
Yeah, I
acres
can see
at
it's,
the
it's on the
back.
very back of the
So it
property.
cannot be seen
Right.
from Griffith Road. It will never be seen from Griffith Road.
Okay.
I have a question for you.
Question, well,
Yes,
okay.
Rick?
Okay, do you ever plan to put a sign out front saying this is such cemetery, pet cemetery, to where?
It's
there's
private,
advertising?
it's private and is not open to the public, so it's not,
Now, what I'm saying is though, you did say that if I had a pet that passed away, I could bring it and have it buried in your cemetery, is that correct?
yes, it would have to be a by reservation, by appointment, and we do not plan to put a sign out front.
Okay. All right, sir, I believe you wanted
Well, that was my question.
to, okay, just come forward and please state your name, your
Michael
address.
Stivalletti, 4610 Griffith Road.
Okay, sir.
That was my question that I was going to ask you,
Would there
if there
be-
was going to be a sign up front.
Okay, so there's
Because
not going to be a
my
sign.
house is directly across the street from that property.
Okay,
And people come up my property right now and ask, where's 4601? Because I'm 4610. So they have dyslexia, I guess, and they've always coming up my property. So if there's going to be a cemetery there now, I was a little worried about that. People are going to be coming up and looking for cemeteries now. And my initial thing was about the sign. Because every time I drove down my driveway, it's a beautiful scenery there, and I didn't want to see a pet cemetery there, and she's acknowledged that there's not going to be a sign there. But how are you going to get access to that cemetery is what I want to know. You're going to be going up what driveway?
now I believe that was the evidence that was presented, yeah, they're going to go through the driveway. Yes, sir.
Which driveways I'm saying? There's
I
2 of
believe
them.
The main, okay.
There's 2 driveways there.
Yeah, come up, sir. Could you explain where the,
When
I
they
don't have
come out,
driveways on a
they
map,
gonna
so I
call,
can't
get
tell.
reservations to come out to bury it. They're gonna come up that paved driveway in front of your house, and I'll meet them there, and then we take them on a gator back to the back, because there won't be no road put in back there, won't be no sign or nothing.
So there's no additional road being put in, it's
If
going to be,
Rick called me and said his dog died, he'll have to meet me in that driveway, and I will take him back.
That's what I'm interested
Yeah, yeah.
Right,
I will not
thank
do that to the neighbors.
Yeah.
I'm a neighbor. I'm a good neighbor, and I would not dare put that out there.
And there wouldn't be a crematorium or anything
No,
like that?
no.
Nothing like that?
The biggest box is gonna be no bigger than this thing right here. I already built 4, just to show it, if somebody's interested.
Uh-huh.
And like you say, you've been on the property before, probably. This is the very back where the big power lines are.
So how do you advertise this then?
Word of mouth.
Oh, it's just
Yes.
like family and
Yes.
stuff like that? Oh, and
All right, any other questions?
there was something else I had to say.
Or anything else you want to say?
I got a senior moment here.
One thing you might wanna do is consider that your driveway, if people are coming down your driveway and yours is 4610, looking for 4601, you might wanna put a bigger sign with your house numbers on it, so they know where they're turning into.
All right, that's true.
Think about it.
Anything else, sir?
Yeah, I forgot what I wanted to say here. Oh, this doesn't change the zoning around here, does it? That was what I wanted to ask. This is not a zoning permit, or this is not a variance, what is this?
It's a special use. It's not it doesn't change the zoning, but it allows them to have this special specific use. They can't decide they're gonna put something else there. It's only for a pet cemetery.
And this can't be any larger than what you specify now?
Right, right.
And, the property, I guess there was another question I had, and I forgot what I wanted to ask. Please
This is
indulge me.
actually a time for you to put
Excuse
on-
me?
This is actually time for you to put on evidence.
Yeah, this is an
for your
evidence.
opposition, not for you to question the board.
Oh, I was wanting to question Miss Bonnie here.
I want to say one thing too.
Well, hold on a second.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say this, I just come to me that only way somebody's gonna know there's a cemetery back there is you died, or your dog died and you buried it there.
Yeah.
If you come down that road, nobody's gonna know it unless you say, hey, I own across the street and there's a pet cemetery across the street.
Okay,
That's the only way they would find out.
all right, that's fine.
But if I can't bury a dog on my property, why are you giving him permission to bury animals on that property?
Yeah,
And they have to go through expenses, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, it's a special use that's why they're here. They're asking for a special use to do that. If you want to put a pet cemetery in your backyard, you can come and ask for a special use permit to do that. That's what it boils down to.
So she had to go, unfortunately, at this expense, just for that,
Yes.
you guys to say yes or no?
Well, I'm not sure if the rule in the county, Union County is you can bury a pet in your backyard, right? I'm not sure.
Personal pet you can't.
Personal pet, yeah. If I want to bury my pet in my backyard in Union County, I can. In Mecklenburg, I can't, apparently, from what her evidence was, but,
So in Union, we can?
yeah.
Oh,
I
Okay,
believe,
thank you.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
okay.
Any questions? Any other questions? Any other person who would like to present evidence at this time? Board, do you have any questions? Before I close the hearing. Hearing none, at this time I will close the public hearing. The board will go in and deliberate this case. We have some requirements that have to be met, board. I think we all know these pretty well. First, the proposed use and development comply with all the regulations and standards generally applicable within the zoning district and specifically applicable to the particular type of special use. Board, y'all don't all scream at once, please.
No, I think that was met.
Okay. Okay. All right. So at this time, we'll vote. All in favor that that provision was met, please let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Number two, the proposed development will not materially endanger the public health or safety.
Well, considering, Health and Human Services went out and inspected it and said as long as it was done by that criteria, so we have no evidence saying otherwise.
Otherwise, correct. All right, anything?
That was my biggest concern.
All right, all those in favor that this criteria is met, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Number three, the proposed development will not substantially injure the value of abutting property or is a public necessity.
There's been no evidence presented to us that it would, so we have no reason to think that the pet cemetery would devalue any property in any way.
No evidence that it would devalue. Any other comments?
Well, you might also talk about its distance from the road. It's not being visible from the road.
It is at the very back of the property. It's a very small piece of property.
Track, and it's, plus or minus 2 acres, I think relate to maybe those same topics. You'll find out a consideration.
All right. Everyone okay with this one? So, all those in favor that this item has been met, please let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Number 4, the proposed development be in harmony with the area in which is located. This is obviously a very rural area. There's not a lot of development out there. Again, as Mr. Sturgis pointed out, this piece of the property is at the very back, not even visible by the road. Any other things I want to bring to that? If not, all those in favor that this item's been met, let me know by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Number 5, the proposed development will be in general conformity with the comprehensive plan. Again, this is RA 40. I don't think we're going to see a lot of development out here. So I think it conforms with the plan as it is. Any other comments? Okay, that not being any comments, all those in favor that this item's met, let them say aye. Aye. Any opposed? No, nobody opposed. This time I will call for a motion. I'll remind you
I'd
to,
like to make the motion and put a couple of stipulations on it.
thank you for doing that, because I was going to ask.
One stipulation would be that there cannot ever be a sign put up.
Okay? No sign, next
Because
stipulation.
you've made it clear that it's sort of a personal family and all that, so there's no reason for a sign to be there to
Correct.
affect anybody else's feelings in the area.
Why don't you put a sign adjacent to the road?
Do,
Sign adjacent to the road.
okay, no sign adjacent to the road, and you must stay in the perimeters with the borders and the, away from the water and all, and it can't go no further out than what you've requested there.
Can we also,
What I would think you'd want to attach, the area designating where it is.
Right.
To your motion, so it identifies.
I said that, I just didn't say it like a lawyer.
That's why y'all.
I said it in Southern.
That's why y'all asked me to come.
Right.
But so just have attached as an exhibit, which the zoning administrator normally does.
so you do have that, sir?
Which will designate where the area is.
Area designated by map attached.
I'm not sure that's a stipulation, that's just part of what you're approving.
Right.
I'd also like to ask, add the 4x4 plot, size, or 4x4 box size.
Did we say 4x4 or 5?
I think he's good with 4x4, and we're gonna go with that.
All right.
Of the box.
All right, is you good with that, sir? Is that your motion?
Yes.
So your motion is
To
to,
approve or deny?
Approve.
so we have a motion to approve, with the following stipulations: cannot be a sign adjacent to the road. The area designated by the attached map, which the, staff will attach a map showing the area, which is the area which has been described tonight, the, small area at the back. And that the, burial box cannot be larger than 4x4. That's the motion, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you, sirs and ma'am. Thank you all. You are approved. You may stay tonight if you want to stay for the rest of this, or you can feel free to leave. I'm not going to be mad if you leave. Make sure you give the clerk your,
And you want to collect their.
all of you, please do that. Again, we will chase you if you don't.
That's a good idea, even though I got Hill and Cemetery.
Well, thank you. I have at least 12 animals right now, so I'm gonna put them there with that.
I hear you.
Sorry, a little housekeeping going on here that might matter. We're going to just briefly skip. We're going to skip to, just because we want to deal with this. Item number 7, appeal petition. Sir, could you please state your name?
Yes, my name is Bo Caudle. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Weaver, Bennett, and Bland. I represent some homeowners on Huey Road in Union County.
Yes, sir. You are here with reference to item number 7, which is an appeal, and you have a request, I believe.
Yes, thank you. So my clients initially filed an appeal from a plat that was approved by staff in August of this year.
Yes, sir.
That plat was later, after the filing of our appeal, amended. There is a new plat that has been filed. It corrects some of the issues raised by our initial appeal. We believe not all of them. I think that renders our appeal more or less moot. And so what we would ask is that we be permitted to withdraw that appeal. We will file a new appeal of the new plat. The one thing that we are requesting is that the $350 fee, which we submitted with the original appeal, be treated or be used toward the newly filed appeal so that we don't forfeit those funds.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Staff has agreed to do that. That's not a decision that the board would make.
Okay, thank you. All right, board, you hear the request. Mr. Sturgis?
It doesn't require any board action, in my view, and obviously the board has not heard any evidence and has no idea how it would rule on this appeal. But I do want to make a couple observations, and I guess the other side, they elected to leave, but they can go on and, you know, see this on the county's TV station. But the decision to grant the minor subdivision that is the one at issue now, I think it's November 14th, is that right, Jim?
That is correct.
So you have 30 days from November 14th to make that appeal. And so that's pretty close in time, and you have a legal right to do that. And of course, you have a legal right to withdraw the appeal you've made. Are you requesting this board to approve the withdrawal of the current appeal?
If the board believes that that is a necessary procedure, then I will be happy to make that request. In my view, our appeal is moot. There is no, in light of the fact that the plat has been changed, I think we have to file a new appeal before the board can take action on the
Yeah, I mean, the
appeal.
board's not taking any evidence, it can't make a decision without taking evidence as to whether it's moot. So it seemed the more appropriate way would be for you to withdraw it. Jim, you think the board needs to approve that, or he can just withdraw it on his own?
Well, he can ask for the board to, because at this time, we have posted and advertised the hearing, so, yeah. Well, yeah, you're right, we have not heard any evidence at this time. What I would need from Mr. Cottle is a written request so that I can put it in the file, and
Okay.
then we would consider it withdrawn at that time.
Okay, all right, so that would handle it procedurally, and then your appeal would be on whatever you file the appeal on and whatever grounds. I do want to make you aware, and also the other people aware, that you will have to prove standing to pursue an appeal at this level, not only at Superior Court. And so part of your presentation of evidence, and it should be the first part, is proof that whoever you represent, whoever the petitioners are going to be, have standing to pursue this appeal. And just give you a heads up on that, because we often see people come to appeal and they've never thought about that legal question, and then case is over before it starts. So we don't want to continue this again because someone says, oh gee, I hadn't thought about that, and I hadn't gathered my evidence to do that. And it would just be regularly noticed, and both, since the applicant who got the subdivision approval as an attorney, and he clearly has standing, and then since you are the petitioner, you will be able to at least present evidence. Whether it's turned out whether you have standing or not, that's something to be determined later. But y'all will both be able to do direct exams and cross exams.
Thank you very much.
So we don't need to do anything here. Okay, well, I'm glad we dealt with that, so you guys feel free to leave, and unless you want to stay and listen to this next case.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the patience for the next item, so we could deal with that, so they could go home if they want to go home and watch football, if there's a football game that they want to see. I don't even know who's playing tonight, so it tells you I don't really care. So we'll move back to item 6, variance petition number 2019 VAR-03, Marty Wright, seeking relief of 10 foot from the 40-foot setback. This is at 2521 Ajars Road, parcel number 02-192-003C, currently zoned RA40, single-family residence, owner Melinda Thompson, applicant again Marty Wright Home Sales, Pageland, South Carolina. Mr. King, is this variance petition complete?
It is.
Right, I would ask for a motion to hear the petition.
Make a motion to hear the petition.
Mr. Davis made a motion, is there a second?
A second.
Second by Ms. Stewart, all in favor say aye. Aye, any opposed? This time, if anyone has a conflict of interest with this case, please let it be known now. Okay. Also, I'll have to, at this time, again, offer those who are here in favor of this, or whoever the petitioner is. There's only 4 of us. Again, y'all heard this speech earlier. Are you comfortable with that, or would you like to continue this hearing until next month? You're good with it? Y'all good? Nobody's coming forward. Looks like everybody's good. All right.
All right.
Sir, tell us what we got.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman, Board. All right, so the property is located at 2521 Ajars Road. The owner of the property is Melinda Thompson, and the applicant tonight representing Ms. Thompson is Marty Wright Home Sales. The applicant is requesting a variance to Table 5-2, which is lot and building regulations. The applicant seeks relief of 5 foot from the required 40 foot front setback. From the 40-foot front setback. The house is currently awaiting to receive their CO. The house is set up, fully set up. They did not receive their CO because we realized that there was an encroachment, and until we can get this rectified, CO is waiting to be issued. So here's the plot plan that was submitted. This is what the applicant submitted, showing that it was going to be 50 foot off Ajars Road, 40 foot off the rear property line, 220 foot off the side property line, and really off on the far property line there. In talking with the secretary over at Marty Wright Homes, she had called because we had a hold on the permit. The hold was for a foundation survey. Unfortunately, that hold was not working. The way the hold was set up was to work with single-family residential homes. They didn't really have it set up for mobile homes, which is under a different subcategory in our permitting system. So they were allowed to enter all their inspections and have all their inspections completed. The software was not working correctly. We explained to the secretary that, okay, we understand there's a glitch in the system, but what we're going to do is we're going to go on to the back end and we're going to place a home so that you can't get your CO until we have the survey. Well, once the home was completed and set up, they wanted to get their final. They called and asked for a final, and our permitting clerk asked, well, where's the survey? Because we're going to have that survey, because anytime something is placed within 2 foot of a required setback, in this case, as they were showing the previous plot plan, 40 foot off the rear property line, and that 40 foot is a required setback, it requires a foundation survey. So Marty Wright Homes provided a foundation survey, and at that time, it came up that they were encroaching into the front setback. I spoke with a representative from Marty Wright Home and asked him, about this, and he was unaware of some stipulations or regulations that the county had in their ordinance. First one was, we did not know that there is a recorded right-of-way here. And with that being said, the applicant actually went to NCDOT and said, is there a recorded right-of-way for Ajars Road? Representative of NCDOT at the time, who I also spoke with, says, we don't have a recorded right-of-way there. Without having a recorded right-of-way, then the ordinance calls for you take 30 foot off the center line of the road. Where that 30 foot ends, that's where you pull your front measurement for your front setback. And at that time, it was going to put him 10-foot encroaching into that front setback. So the applicant went back to NCO DOT. They were working with us, and I said, I think I've got an idea. If we can get NCO DOT to go along with this, we can get you guys straight. And that was, go to NCO DOT, tell them that you're willing to give them a 20-foot right-of-way in front of your house. So that would be 20 foot off the center line of the road. If they accept that, then that creates a recorded right-of-way. Then the house would be 40 foot off that recorded right-of-way. There wouldn't be a violation. Well, the local office sent this up to the Raleigh office. Raleigh office did some research. Comes to find out that in 2005, one of the engineers from the Raleigh office had gone out there and acquired a 50-foot right-of-way, so 25 foot off center line of a road. With that being said, that creates an issue for the applicant because now he's got a 5-foot encroachment into the 40-foot setback. And that's what they're asking for tonight, is for relief of that because the house is already set up. They have, in good faith effort, tried every other means possible, with the exception of physically moving the house to bring it into compliance. Kind of give you an understanding of the area of Ajar's Road. If you look to the picture on the left, you have the main road that's out there. Ajar's is the one that comes out. It is a crushed asphalt road. So it's state maintained, but it's not an asphalt road. It's a crushed asphalt. On the right, you'll see their property, and they are challenged that they have a very narrow property with a lot of road frontage. And so I'll let the applicant get into the challenges that they have been faced with. He can explain that a little bit better, and he's the one that can present that evidence. So the property is zoned RA40, and everything around there is RA40. The land use plan calls for this to be agricultural, and everything around there to be agricultural. They, as far as any environmental issues, there is a pond on the property and it remains on the property. So, they would have to be set back with their sewer and their well from the water source there. There is no transportation improvements. I don't even think DOT has any future plans to even pave this road. So with that being, said, what staff has realized and what their constraints are, one is the lot is very narrow. There's 50-foot dedicated right-of-way, which would be 25 foot off the center line, which is creating the issue for the 5-foot encroachment. The property drops off rapidly north of the property. The area of the property where it's the widest, it's got a real strong drop-off. I'll let the applicant speak to that more because he's a professional of mobile homes and he can explain the foundation heights and stuff like that to back up why they couldn't put the home there. And then the home was placed in accordance with the environmental health septic permit. So they were trying to permit a 3-bedroom home, and environmental health, when you get to them, they'll actually go find an area of the property that perks, and they'll actually lay out to the best of their ability where that home needs to go. And so they were following with that layout that environmental health had provided them. At that time, applicant is here. He can give sworn testimony, and if the board has any questions they have of me, I'll be happy to answer them at this time.
One question.
Yes, sir.
The variance that's being asked for, is this just for this specific home that's there now?
Yes, it would be staff's recommendation if the board were to approve the variance, that they would only approve a variance for the portion of the home where it encroaches, not the rest of the setback line.
Okay. And the staff is good with that?
Staff is fine with that, yes.
So this home's sitting there, it's ready to go. They can't move into it because we're holding them up. Amen. All right, thank you. Any other questions? All right. All right, those who would like to present evidence in favor of this petition, come forward now. Anyone, please, if you're out there and you think you might
You
want
wanna talk it off?
to talk, come on up and let's do it now, it'll be done. I promise I won't bite. Oh, everybody's coming now. I'm gonna be an auctioneer here in a minute. Who'll give me 4? Who'll give me 5 more?
No, don't, I do.
I'm sure.
Oh, my gracious.
You swear the evidence you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. All right, whoever wants to start, and please state your name and your address, and again, everybody up there, please fill out the little piece of paper.
My name is Matt Knight. I'm regional manager with Marty Wright Home Sales. I oversee the daily operation of 3 different dealerships. I am a resident of Union County. My address is 1010 Echo Post Drive, Indian Trail, North Carolina.
Okay.
So I'm here today mainly just to try to get the Thompsons into their home.
Yes, sir.
But I do want to give a statement of, exactly how this come to be, me standing before you guys today. So I met Miss Thompson and her husband, Mr. Thompson, out at their property some 3 months ago. And I took a look at their property, and we had to scale drawing, we had the survey with us. And we started at the top of the property because it is the widest there. And but the fall off down towards the pond is just much too steep for any type of home. And I do want to say this too. We're going to use, or I've heard the term mobile home here today. It's a manufactured home that's on a permanent foundation today. So we met out there, discussed, that it would be too hard to put it down there. And I took a look at their plat, and we moved down to the back of the road or down the road some, and I measured 50 foot off the front, mainly because I didn't think it was a state-maintained road. There's as much loose gravel as there is asphalt there. So I proceeded to think, all right, 40 foot should be clear for us. Let me measure the property off. We had, somewhere in the 110 foot range. So I went 50 back to make sure that I was clear at least 10 foot of what I thought would be more than acceptable. Also checked my back property line because we do, a good little bit of work in Union County, just not anything, with a lot shaped like this. So we staked off, a house area out there and turned in a permit to Union County Department of Health, our Union County Septic Division. The folks that put the septic, come out and say, yes, you can or cannot have a septic tank. We got that permit back probably in 3 weeks, and I met back out there with them again, and just use their exact measurements of where they had the septic tank placed, because it is 5 foot behind the home, and then the drain fields run out into the more narrow part of the lot, because those drain fields also have to be 10 foot off the property line, which we have one that is 10 foot off the property line. So we put their house in, set their house up, and Miss Christine, my manager, my page on lot, called me and said, Matt, there is something on here that says we need a survey. And I said, well, just call and find out what's going on, because there are a lot of townships inside of Union County that require survey whether there's an issue or not. So Miss Christine called and had the conversation that she said Mr. Jim had with the folks that they're going to require survey, after we're done. So I said, no problem whatsoever. We'll get the survey taken care of. So we continue along, $123,000 project too. So, and the reason in 1974, United States government said there's no longer a mobile home unless it was made before 1976. It's a manufactured home. And I don't know when the last time any of you guys have been in one, but I live in a 2,700 square foot home in Bonterra subdivision, and I promise you the Thompson's homes is every bit as pretty as mine, especially on the inside. So, I mean, it is a beautiful place. So we get all the work done, call for our final inspection. Everything passes except for the survey. So we bring a surveyor out turn the survey in to Mr. Jim. Mr. Jim tells me that we have a problem. And obviously, my hope is to get these family in their home, get them in their home before Christmas. But I do want to say one thing. Mr. King has went above and beyond with helping me. I've spent countless hours on the phone with him, and every time he's, picked it up, helped me in any way he could. Took a meeting without any notice with me this morning. We made I think as honest a mistake as you can make. And we're 5 foot out of compliance, and I hope that this board tonight will see just cause for us, making that happen and getting this family in their home.
Any
Question
questions?
for you.
Yes, sir.
Where is the George Road? I'm not familiar with it.
Hamden.
Yeah, the only way I
South
can
of
get
Marshall.
to it is GPS every time, and I've been there 10 times, so.
You go to,
Okay, well,
That's okay. I just-
We'll let
So
somebody answer that.
It's about a 3/4 mile to a mile road, and she got her property, Miss Thompson got her property 6 months ago. And this is what, I get paid every day, or I get paid every 2 weeks, but this is what I love. Mrs. and Mr. Thompson have been renting for 6 years. And, we just love putting people in homes and giving them their forever place. But yeah, it's a 3/4 to a 1 mile road. There's 5 residents on it, and 3 of them's family. Her dad gave her the property about 6 years ago. And,
So
we
it's
just,
actually out of Marshall then.
yes, south of
Yeah.
Marshall.
Okay, fine. Sounds like a victim of circumstance.
What's
Any
that?
other,
Sounds like a victim of circumstance. before you
It
got
is.
any other questions? Thank you, sir. And call you back up if we need you. All right, state your name and your address, please.
Karen Hagler, 2522 Ajars Road. I'm her mother. We're the ones that gave her the property. And in 2005, when y'all did pave that road, we gave you land across the road of ours to not cut the home place off, because her yard is right there on the road. And so instead of going with that, we went and gave the land far enough on that side so that the road wouldn't be in Grandma's front porch.
All right. Any
So-
questions? Thank you, ma'am. Next. Please state your name and your address and
Hi, I'm Melinda Thompson. My address currently is at 1006 Keith Drive in Monroe, North Carolina.
but you want it to be
But I
25,
would
21.
love
and
it, would love it to be 25, 21.
Before Christmas.
Yeah, that is true. So we have currently paid 4 house payments without being able to live in our property. Ajars Road is a very small road. It used to, several years ago, go all the way from Camden Road to White Store Road, but approximately, yeah, and when it was a state, well, but now it's a dead-end road. So it's not even a road that goes all the way through. The property that is in front of our home, all of those are family members as well. And the house that my mother was referencing is actually closer to the road than our home. And I think about, what did you say, 2005? The DOT had already come out and extended the road. It was originally a dirt road, and now they have made it that like asphalty, gravelly road. So they've already done that expansion once. And being that it's a dead-end road and pretty much most of the property on that is family-owned land, the likelihood that it will be developed is very unlikely. So I just beg for you to let me move into my house.
Any questions for Mr.?
I have one.
Yes.
You and Rick both got my curiosity up. Tell me how to get there from where we're at.
Okay, so from where we're at, so if you go down 74 to 601, take 601 to White Store Road. And if you take White Store Road, then White Store Road will break off, and then Gilboa will go straight. Well, you'll break off on White Store Road, go all the way down to Old Pageland Marshville Road, where Union Elementary is.
Yep.
And then you will turn left. And then you'll turn left up until you get to Camden Road, right there where Centerview Baptist Church is. Then you will turn right, and it's the first road on your right.
All right, I knew I'd seen that
Yeah.
already because I
I'm
picked my
lost now.
grandson up at Union
Yeah, no
Elementary,
worries.
so.
You are welcome to come over.
I knew
I'll
where it
cook
was
you
till
some
now.
chicken and dumplings or something.
All right, thank you. Any questions? All right, sir, you're the last one that signed up.
The only thing I got to say.
You say your name first,
Oh.
if that's the only thing you got to say.
My name's Edward Hagler,
Yes, sir.
2522 Acres Road.
Yes, sir.
And,
He just wants his daughter home.
Amen. No, that's fine. I understand, sir. Thank you.
I'm the same way. I'm the same way.
Anybody else like to speak in favor of this petition? All right, is there anyone here like to speak in opposition to this petition? I didn't think so. That would be the Grinch, I'm afraid. All right, at this time, I will close the public hearing and we will move right on here. There are some findings of fact that we need to move through the board. First finding of fact is the strict application of the ordinance will result in an unnecessary hardship, but is not necessary to conclude that the strict application will prevent any reasonable use of the property. If you've got the package they
We don't
get.
need to vote on these individually.
We don't?
No, it's a motion.
All right, in that case,
Motion to grant
do I have a motion? to Put
And then
these,
you need to talk about findings of fact too, though.
so I don't need, what do I need to do?
Well, I mean, you're on the right track, you just all discussed.
Well, okay, let me just say this. Let me, can I, board, you have the packet, you see the finding, the petitioner filled out findings of fact, and I would like to present those as evidence as to why I'm going to vote the way I'm going to vote. Anybody got a problem with any of those?
No.
Make a motion, Mr. Davis.
I'd like to make a motion that the variance be granted with the exception that the variance only be allowed where the home is sitting. The rest of the property will still have to
Me-
abide, meet the setback. So
All
I
right.
make a motion to do that.
Is there a second?
I second.
Yes, sir, Mr. Davis, hold on.
Can you amend that motion to reference the survey that has been turned in that way?
Yes.
And that way you can mark as an exhibit the actual area in red or something like that.
Yeah,
Okay. You got that?
I got that.
Okay.
You got that? The only one that really matters that got that is Pam. You got that? Okay, that's all that matters. All right. Is there a second?
I second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to put these people in their new home by Christmas. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Merry Christmas.
But you need to discuss your findings of fact. To give Jim findings of fact and support the recommendation.
Did I not do that when I said take what I had right there?
You just take in there,
I like what they have. Do you like what they have?
I do, yes, sir.
I'm good with that.
Congratulations.
Are you good with that?
Congratulations.
Think we're gonna have it. You good with that? Congratulations, folks. All right. Is there any, well, I have one more thing I need to do. One more thing we need to do. We have to recognize Mr. Sturgis. Sir, congratulations on your long career in law. Wish you well in whatever you're gonna do next.
I appreciate it.
And, I've been with you for how many years now? You've been,
12?
long time. But, Mr. Sturgis is retiring and we wish him well in his retirement. And we look forward to working with Mr. Thurman, who will be joining us. And we will try to get you broke in. It might take a while, but congratulations again, sir.
Well, and thank you, and I want to say it's been a real pleasure working with this board. Y'all are experienced board, and, you know you have to follow the law, but you also have some compassion, the way you handle it and the way you handle people, and that's important. Because for a lot of people, this is their only judicial or government experience. And I think that whether they win or lose, they come away with a sense they've been treated fairly.
Yep.
And I think that's important. So I commend y'all for your fine service, and I've also enjoyed working with Pam and Jim and Lee and Brian and Dick and the staff over there. It's been a real pleasure, and I wish you continued good judgment going forward.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. All right, that being said, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Everybody have a happy holiday, Merry Christmas. We'll see you, we'll see you next year. Woo!